It is time to do the glazed donut bacon cheeseburger properly. Hi, and welcome to Yeti at Large. This is a channel focused on making the most out of what you have, no matter where you're at. Thanks for tuning in and helping out. Last week, we did a rebuild of the 1961 Rival Grindo mat. This week, we're going to finish it by making a proper cheeseburger man style. I portioned out the burger packs, 5 to a pack, so I could only defrost what I needed. Agnes loves it when we cook. I'll start by prepping the donuts. These are day old. Being a little bit stale gives them some structure to build your burgers on. I do not prefer to toast buns and bread like that. I like to griddle them. So I'm going to make a little griddle sauce by using a dollop of real mayonnaise, about a tablespoon of stoneground mustard, and an equal amount of garlic. We'll get into that garlic later. But right now, just know that this is my griddling prep. The fat and the mayo really helps it build flavor. And mustard is most delicious when you get a little bit of heat on it and cook with it. I find by toasting things, they get more delicate and tend to fall apart easier, whereas griddling items builds a little bit of structure. And to be honest, we're talking about glazed donut bacon cheeseburgers here. We don't care about adding a little bit more fat to that. You will notice, though, that I'm very careful that I'm only packing the holes on the bread. The bare minimum amount of this dressing for griddling is how it works. Anything extra is going to make a greasy mess, and you don't want that. I wished I had a commercial griddle. It's so much easier to work on, but instead I have this large saute pan. I put a little water in there to make sure it's hot enough, and then I'll put them face down, working counterclockwise so that I can remember where I started and where I finished. The heat in here is very uneven, so you've got to keep a close eye on it, and I'll rotate them frequently and check them. You can see I fast forwarded there. But if you take a look, we're getting a little good griddling action and good color. And I'll just go around again like the hands of a clock, rotating them and getting a good toast and keeping a close eye on it. This is an essential step to getting good texture and good flavor built into your burger without adding a lot of mess. You put this dressing on the burger, it's just going to make a gooey mess. And you're not going to maximize the flavor you'd get out of that mustard. Now that one's getting a little borderline on how much color I want, so I think it's time to pull them out of there. And I'm making sure I got my bottoms lined up and my tops with the right ones. And some of those look a little bit dark, but trust me, they're not burnt. They're beautiful. We'll finish up here and go to our mise en place for the burger. We used to call them burger setups. Now, I bought the cheapest bacon I could find, mostly because the prices are outrageous. This is a half commercial sheet pan size, and that is a glazing rack. If you don't have one of these half aluminum sheet pans and a glazing rack, I strongly recommend you get one. So the reason I buy this cheap bacon is I don't want the thick cut. You want the thinnest bacon you can get for a sandwich to get the good crisp. I thought I was dealing with a higher quality product here, so I tried to do just normal bacon spirals. I've never understood why people will put a flat strip of bacon on a round sandwich. I was sadly schooled here, though, to learn that the cheap bacon that I bought nearly vanished when I baked it up in the oven. So we had to go to plan B, and instead of doing these perfect swirls, I ended up doing bacon hoops. You'll see those later, but I didn't show you building them. If you get a higher quality bacon, you can lay these out, and by putting that glazing rack on top of them so they don't lift and warp, it's a nice little treat to have. If you're going to add bacon to a sandwich, though, make sure it's good and crispy so that it has a good bite and you just don't pull it out of the sandwich making a mess on your hands. See how the rack holds the bacon down, and I've got a slice of paper on top of it. This is where I learned the sad truth of my cheap bacon. That's a John F. Kennedy silver dollar. So like I said, we
The
did these
mandolin.
giant hoops.
Set on 3 millimeters or 1/8 of an inch. We're only doing a couple of burgers, so that's more than enough. I like very. Time for a new mandolin. I'll set the tomatoes on a paper towel, and I'll leave room to throw some pickle slices in there too. Cheapy bread and butters. Now if we were setting up a station in the cold top, I'd have a perforated 1/8 pan, and we just let that juice drip through. When you get to the end of a jar of pickles, save the juice. Makes the best fried chicken marinade with buttermilk and hot sauce.
Now this is just cheap iceberg lettuce, but take the time to peel off a couple of whole leaves, roll them up, and get those spirals. You add another dimension and make ordinary food extraordinary. This is about all we got for our mise en place. Our buns are griddled up, and we've got our cold items for our burger. Now I've shown you guys how I like to grill a burger, so we're not going to go into great detail here. But I did want to point out, because somebody asked me earlier, why I scrape the spatula off on that top rack in the grill. There's a lot of fat and juice on that thing. I don't want to slop all over my tray, so I like to leave it in the grill where it'll burn away. Now I know I might get some haterade here. Some people are pretty militant about melting their cheese or toasting their cheese. I throw the cheese on the top here just because I don't have a commercial salamander. That's what we would call a broiler. And I knew the carryover heat from the burger and the bacon were going to melt it down pretty good. So these are a decent medium well, and I decided on some pepper jack today. Another reason I'm not going to really melt them is I hate putting square cheese on a round burger and losing half the slice. So I'm trying to keep as much of that cheese on my sandwich as possible.
I know. We're going to get some haterade.
There I am talking to myself about knowing I'm going to get some haterade, so let me have it in the comments down below. Turn the grill off. Let's go back inside and build our burgers. So I like to put my lettuce, onion, and tomato on the bottom to catch some of those juices to hold the structure of the bun up as good as possible. And again, those spiral cut lettuce is kind of fun. There's my bacon hoops on top of my burgers. And I put it on a plate ahead of time. Normally I'd build it right on the cutting board, but filming for YouTube, I get out of sync a little bit. Burgers have had a chance to rest for a minute, so I'm not going to lose all my juice. I'll put those sweet bread and butter chips on top. I think the sweet pickle with the smoky bacon. And here I get the dreaded ketchup water because I haven't used that ketchup in a while. But just a little splash of ketchup on top. And we dress it with our griddled bun. And bam! That's a thing of beauty. You hear that nice crisp? Look how delicate that burger is with our home ground chuck. You are in charge of the texture, the temperature, and the taste. You're the cook. Well, here it is, the finale of the 1961 Rival Grind-O-Mat. Friend, you are a permanent part of our kitchen. And this is the glazed donut bacon cheeseburger. This is not going to be graceful, and I don't care. Oh my God, that's stupid. Stupid good. At this point, I put some of those Flatiron Pepper Company flakes on it, and it went astronomical. Have fun with those old things in your kitchen. Dig around. The important thing with a commercial kitchen is use what you have and have what you use. Thank you so much for joining us at Yeti at Large. Please like and subscribe and leave me a comment with what you'd like to see us do down below.